And for me, it was not okay, and I was like, no, this is, Iman, this is bad. You've let yourself go. And I talked to my husband about it, and he was like, yeah, I don't feel too great. But my advice to you, ladies, gentlemen, husbands, wives, is don't expect anything. And the people around me were saying, oh, something's wrong with you. And I started freaking out. So I called my husband crying on the phone and be like, there's something wrong with me.
Ever felt like your first year of parenting didn't turn out how you thought it would? With us today, we have Iman Azman, mom of 4, sharing with us everything she felt during her first year of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
What was different? What were her expectations that didn't come through?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Iman.
Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum. Thank you so much, Isha. Thank you so much, Motherhood, for having me on your second season this year. I'm very, very excited. And when you sent me the list of what we're going to be talking about, and when you said, the first year of parenting, I thought, I've had many first years of parenting. I've had it 4 times over,
yes.
right? So I've had 4 different labors, 4 different pregnancies, and 4 different first years of lives with 4 different children.
Yep.
But I think if we want to bring it back just to the basics of like my first year of ever having a child, that was way back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I got pregnant in 2018, gave birth in 2019, and looking back now, I was like, oh my God, Iman, so cute. You didn't know what was coming. You didn't know. You thought you knew, or you like had an expectation, but like I knew nothing. Alhamdulillah, I had a mom who is still very hands-on, right? So she gave me a ton of books to read. That time I had time to read. So she gave me this amazing book by Dr. Miriam Shepard, I think is her name.
Yes, I know that author.
Yeah, so her book, which is the book that my mom read like 30 plus years ago when she was going to give birth to me. She's like, Iman, just like read this book. It covers like just the basics. Like I think sometimes when you read a little bit too much, you tend to get overwhelmed, right?
Oh,
when there's too much information.
TMI.
When there's too much information, you tend to be like, oh, okay, so like who should I follow, right? So I think Dr. Miriam's book gave me a very clear understanding about what to expect about birth. What to expect physically to your body when you're about to give birth. And then she had another follow-up book, like what to expect in your first year. So I read that, and that kind of gave me an expectation to know to not expect anything at all, right?
That's all you need, honestly.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming.
You don't know what's coming, especially as a first-time parent. You kind of go in, like, you hear stories, kan, macam like your makcik say this, your mom says this, your mother-in-law tells you this, your sister-in-law tells you this. But my advice to you, ladies, gentlemen, husbands, wives, is don't expect anything. Be prepared, like have diapers ready, have your wipes ready, be educated, like go to like maybe one postnatal class. So that's where, for me, I went to the one dekat my hospital. So they had like a 1-day course for pregnant parents to go, just to know what to expect when you're about to give birth. So the doctor will come in and say, okay, if it's a C-section, we're going to roll you into the OT. If it's giving birth naturally, we're going to give you the epidural. The needle looks like this. And then a breastfeeding consultant will come in and she'll like, okay, color breastfeed, this is how you're going to hold the baby. And then nurse will come in and say, okay, if you want to shower your baby, this is how you do it. I think that's all you really need as a first-time parent. Just
not too much. Just the basics.
Just like a first-day crash course. And that really helped me. And when my son arrived, I feel like we had the basics to be like, okay, now we're in charge and we get to kind of like figure it out on our own. So, yeah.
That's nice. But what, like in terms of, was there anything that was scary during your first year or something?
My God, so many scary things.
Like what was the scariest that like, it's not to scare anyone away, but it's just more to share experiences.
Okay, well, you have to keep in mind also, right? Like I gave birth the first time like 6 years ago. Like if you ask me what I had last week for lunch or so, I cannot explain, right? But okay, hold on. Let me dig deep into my mind. Okay, I do remember there was a time, maybe a few weeks into, no, not even a few weeks, maybe a few days into having him, my eldest, when I felt like my milk wasn't coming out. So I wanted to breastfeed really badly. Because at that time I bought into the propaganda of like breastfeed.
That's what they keep telling you, and when you don't do that,
they shame you. But you know what? I think over time because I cannot speak on behalf of other people, like I really come to realize that like fed is best. Breastfeeding, obviously, we cannot deny it is the best form of food for a newborn baby,
course,
right?
yes.
Allah, God has made your body in such a way that breastfeeding is the best. However, there are some women who just physically cannot breastfeed. Probably something wrong with their breasts, something wrong. Oh wait, I don't want to say anything is wrong with you. It's not. It's probably just circumstances, right?
Or when you just decide that it's not for you,
Sure.
everything that comes with it, because it's not just feeding.
Yeah.
There are the late nights, there's the pain that comes
With breastfeeding, for sure.
breastfeeding.
So in
yeah.
that opportunity, in that sense, like formula milk is absolutely fine because at least your baby is being fed. Anyway, going back to my experience, I think was the first few days where I personally felt milk was just not coming in, and the people around me were saying, oh, something's wrong with you, and I started freaking out. So I called my husband crying on the phone, be like, there's something wrong with me. I can't have milk. Like, milk's not just coming out. Like, we need to do something. And he was like, you know what, just take a step back. If you need to give him formula, give him formula. You don't want him to be hungry.
That's a good man.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's a good man.
And you know, we take it as we go. And I think when our bodies are stressed, when you're like hunched up and you're holding the baby like this, and you have like your nurse telling you hold him higher, and you have your mom telling you hold him lower, when all of that stress is around you, your body just can't have milk come out, right?
I think there's a thing that connects like the happy hormones to how much milk is produced. The happier you are. And it may not even be the case, you know. It varies mother to mother, honestly, you know.
Yeah.
So
when I took away all of those stresses around me, when I was like, everyone just leave me alone, and when it was just me and him, and I got to like fully connect and like hold him the way I thought was most comfortable myself, alhamdulillah, it worked, you know. So I think sometimes having advice is good, right? Because sometimes you're coming from a place where you don't actually know what's going on. Sometimes some people are too egoistical, being like, I don't want any help, I can do it all by myself. And that's also where you go wrong. You know, you need support.
Find balance.
Correct, balance.
Find balance. Like, I mean, if someone gives you advice, take the good. Whatever you don't need, just hold on to it. You never know, honestly. And that's what I've learned.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes smacking you right in the face at your second child. I'd be like, my mother-in-law told me this before.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear. I was too young. And now you're like, well, there you go.
There we go.
There we go.
But I think our first year with our eldest was exciting, you know, being a first-time mom, like not knowing what to expect, but then also just going in full force, being like, okay, I'm gonna give it all I got. But then sometimes he's like crying. I do remember this one time as well. I think my husband was at work. He was probably about 4 months old. He just would not stop crying. He just wouldn't stop crying. And I literally held him. I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? And then he stopped crying. He looked at me and he laughed. I was like, okay, so you just want me to scream at you, okay?
That's a unique one right there.
That's a unique one. So I that one comes into my mind very clearly when I think about like the struggles of just like wanting to please him, but then not knowing what to give, and him just being like, I don't know what I want either, you know? So with babies, it's definitely the first year is a challenge. But after that, honestly, like second, third, and fourth, alhamdulillah, it was like, bring on the next one.
That's why they say there's something with the first one. They've been through exactly the same with me. I mean, let's while we're not here to hear my story, right?
Oh, okay.
we want to know more about you, and I'll come in where I fit.
Sure.
But of course, what about like the mental part of things? You know, I mean, that's something we don't talk about as much. Of course, there's a stigma behind there, and many of the parents out there, they're like, oh, but it's your child. It's a blessing. Alhamdulillah, they are blessings. You know, we love them. We want to do everything for them. But what about the mental part aspect of the first year of parenting?
Mentally, for the first year, can be tough. And it is tough. And I would also like to just say that different people have different circumstances.
Yep.
Some people have more support, some maybe don't have as much support. So I think it's very important to never compare like how you're doing to how someone else is doing.
Of course.
And also, these stories are like just my own perspective, right? Somebody else may have like something. So I just want to put it out there. I don't want people to like start comparing, be like, oh, she can, how come I cannot?
Oh, no,
we
we're just
all
sharing.
have, we all have different expectations. Alhamdulillah, for me, in my first year, I had actually left my job when I found out I was pregnant. So I and my husband and I had talked about it, and alhamdulillah, we had the rizki that I could be a stay-at-home mom. And I've always known that that's what I wanted. So I think me not having that weight of, okay, I only get 3 months, or I only get 6 months, I only get 9 months, that really helped me in being like, I'm gonna go full force in this. There is like no other avenue, so this is it. So for me, mentally, that was very light for me.
It's liberating.
It was very liberating.
You didn't have to rush through your first 3 months of motherhood.
Correct. I could like take it easy. I could take it at a good pace. So mentally, for me, in my first year, I was very excited about everything. Like, I'm gonna dress him up in like these blue shoes. I'm gonna like take him out. We're gonna do baby gym together. Mini me. Even though he was a boy. Mini me. But for my second son, that was when it was mentally taxing for me. So whenever people ask me, what is hardest, going from 0 to 1, 1 to 2 to 3, for me, going from one child to two children was harder than going from 0 to 1.
Of course.
Because you're going from giving one person your 100% to now having to split it. And not even split it fair 50-50, because sometimes little brother needs more than big brother. Sometimes big brother needs more than little brother. So for me, 1 to 2 was the toughest. And it was also during COVID time. So, you don't have, you don't...
Resources.
Correct.
Company.
Exactly.
Friends.
Exactly.
Yes.
You didn't have, like, my mom couldn't stop by. My dad couldn't stop by. My mother-in-law couldn't stop by. Friends couldn't come by. So it was just really... me, my husband, number 1, number 2, locked up in a house, and my 2 sons are very close in age. They're actually only 2 years apart. So having a 2-year-old and a 1-month-old by ourselves was very mentally draining.
And it was COVID.
It was COVID.
It didn't help.
It did not help.
You were scared. If you were to bring COVID back after grocery run.
Exactly.
I understand. I feel you.
And I feel like sometimes when I think about COVID, it's like such a long time ago, but actually it wasn't.
It wasn't that long ago.
I feel like, COVID was a whole lifetime ago, but it just
ended.
It just ended.
It's still there. It's
still in the air.
We're just a little more calm about it.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, so for me, definitely the first year of my second born was very mentally taxing for me. I am also the type of person that when I'm stressed out, I tend to retreat a bit. So I don't like to be around people when I am mentally drained. So I took myself out of not took myself out, but I was like a little bit more quiet, because that's just how I process my own like mental drainage. But I think my husband was a very good like support for me. So like on during the days where I just couldn't manage both at the same time, he was there. And because it was COVID, he was working from home, so that was perfect.
You've got to be there. You've got nowhere to go. But yes, 1 to 2 is a challenge. It's a great challenge. As a parent, you are up for any challenge. It's what we sign up for in a way. But the first 1 to 2 is definitely a challenge.
It's tough.
We want to go on the topic of physically, the physical changes, because for me, that was a big deal. It is a big deal up to today. In fact, like when I look in the mirror and...
You mean like pregnancy and then
pregnancy body, and I mean, you don't look the same. Or at least I don't look the same after,
I don't look the same either.
I went from XS to I am not going to disclose what size I am today.
I am M for mother. I am now size M for mother.
Okay. I'm M for mother. So am I. But let's talk about that part. Like, how do we accept that our body changes? Delivery is physically taxing, While it's beautiful, we don't deny that. Let's talk about the physical aspect of it, from pregnancy to labor, preparing for labor, breastfeeding, postpartum, your body changes. How was it for you?
I have always been like tinier like my whole life, right? So I also tend to not gain too much during pregnancy. My doctor actually tells me like you need to gain more just for the safety of the baby. So my pregnancies, I usually gain about like between 11 to 13 kilos. That's like about there for me. My issue is losing the weight. Okay, but I also want to point out here that it's okay to gain weight. It's great. You have to gain weight when you are pregnant, when you are nourishing your child, right? I think there's a lot of stress around people being like, oh, you got to bounce back fast.
Yep.
You got to take your time, but don't make it an excuse. I think a lot of us be like, oh, I'm mothering now. I'm taking care of my children. I can put this on for later, which is what I went through when I was between my second and third. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna eat what I want to eat. You know, I'm like stressed. I'm not gonna work out because, you know, I have so many people to take care of. I'm so tired. But one of my very good friends told me one day, this is just an excuse. You have to bounce back, not because of yourself, but also for your children.
Yes.
And one day my son, who's very good with my phone, he took a photo of me from the back. And obviously you can't see what you look like from the back, right? So I was flipping through my phone and I was like, oh, when is this video or this photo? I've never seen it. And he was actually taking a photo of me from the back. And I was like, oh my God, my ass is huge.
I had that just a couple of days back.
I was like, oh my God, this is what I look like from the back? And for me, it was not okay. You know, and I was like, no, this is, Iman, this is bad. You've let yourself go. And I talked to my husband about it. And he was like, yeah, I don't feel too great about myself either. So we're like, okay, we need to like lose weight. And get healthier. I think lose weight is just a byproduct of like getting healthier, right? So for us, it was a lot of like the snacks and things. We just like cut that out because we need to be healthier for our kids. But at the same time, recognizing that as a parent, it's okay to go through all these seasons of life, right? At some point, you're going to be small. At some point, you're going to be big because of your pregnancy. And then you're losing the weight. But then you have to get active and you have to get healthy for your children.
Snap out of it at a point where
you
can. I mean, we all need that friend to just tell us.
Thanks, Isa.
Is that who she
Thanks,
is?
Sherry. Yes.
To tell us right in our faces that this is not you. And something really interesting I read the other day was you would die for a child, but would you live for them? And that smacked me in the face. I mean, I used to run. I ran marathons. I ran ultra marathons, in fact, and I have not put on my running shoes in 6 years. I got a walking pad recently, this one that counts. And also thanks to Iman Azman, I'm doing my virtual circles. I don't have them on my watch, but you know.
But you know, you keep up.
You keep up. I'm trying, so thank you for that.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for that, and I'm trying to get there. You know, I'm trying to live for my children.
Yeah, because you don't want to, you know, you don't want your kids to one day ask you, come mama play with me, but you're like, oh man, like
letih, penat lah. Mami nak rehat kejap.
Correct.
But you've been resting the whole day, yeah?
Correct. So I think, you know, it's fine to tell women, you know, be comfortable in your own body. Yes, I completely agree. Be as comfortable as you can be, but you yourself also know when you should push yourself.
Betul.
And only you can tell yourself that.
Betul.
Only you can be like, okay, I'm comfortable, or are you actually lying to yourself? You'd be like, you know what, I can get healthier for myself and for my children.
It's going to get uncomfortable, but you've got to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I feel like, honestly, it's not a lot. You don't have to sign up for a gym. It's a lot, you know, to sign up for a gym. Just little movements, you know, walk up the stairs a little bit more. And that was what I started with. I walked up the stairs a little bit more. Then I got a walking pad. And I just spent a little bit more time outside. I'm not an outdoor person. Contrary to my past of running, I'm not an outdoor person. I spent more time outdoors in the sun. It has made me feel a lot better.
Yeah. And
so
when
I
you...
think little steps.
Yeah, and when you feel good, you also become a better parent as well.
Yes, absolutely. It's something I tried to deny for the longest time. You know, I'm like, no, I need to devote my life to my children. It was only until I gave it a shot by accident where I just closed in a little bit. I just took some time for myself, and in 10 minutes, I came out a better mother.
Alhamdulillah.
You know, and it was, I stumbled upon it that you've got to feel better to be better. On to the next, something we don't want to talk about, and I mean, it affected me that first year, postpartum. Your relationship with your husband, did it change in terms of like, how were you managing? Sometimes, you know, a mother may take up more responsibilities. It's a mother. We want to try to give everything, you know. So macam orang cakap, bapak dia tak payah buat lah sebab bapak cari duit, beli beras kan. Mak lah, basuh lah, diaper. I mean, I get that a lot. I got that a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But Alhamdulillah, I was gifted with a husband who is now very involved. I mean, we had our fair share of difficulties, but we are here. How was it for you?
I think it's important to always remember that like you and your husband play for the same team.
Yes.
I think a lot of times, especially when you're younger and probably maybe not as mature, you tend, like even in fights, like before children, like, oh, I want to win. I don't want him to win. But when you both realize that you're on the same team, it makes things a lot easier. Like we need to get through this for us, for our children, for our family. But I'm not going to lie, like that first year was a learning curve for both of us, right? So like knowing how much he does versus how much I do. I already carried the kid. I already pushed him out. I'm feeding with him. I'm feeding him with my body. Like, what are you doing,
It's
right?
like a competition. You don't want to, but you can't help it.
Yeah, and I think that's when the shaitan really whispers to you, be like, like, oh, get angry at him. He's not.
He needs to do more.
Yeah, he's not washing the diaper. He should bathe the baby. But I think, alhamdulillah, I think maybe just very similar to you, I've been very blessed with a partner and a husband who is very, very involved. And he does the baths. Like we don't have like a set checklist. Like, okay, pagi I mandikan, malam you mandikan. We don't have that.
Tak buat terus mengamuk.
Yeah, we don't have that. But again, if you have that and that works for you, then go for it. But I think open communication is like most important. Like saying like, hey, I'm really struggling here. Like I need you to help me out. That would be really great. And also, I think delivery is so important. Sometimes we think like, oh, the message is important, but how you say it is also not like, babe, I need your help. Like, come on lah, I've been doing this all day. That's when he's going to be like, whoa, woman, like, back up. Instead, if you just take a second and you just be like, babe, I'm really stressed out because I think both babies are crying. Do you mind helping me give him a bath? Delivery is so important.
Of course.
So that's one of the things that we really learned in our first year. That just communication is super, super important. And also asking him at the end of the day, like, was today too much for you? This is what I need from you, etc., etc. But I think parenting is so fun. And parenting with like your best bud is so fun.
Best. I mean, alhamdulillah, we're blessed.
Alhamdulillah.
I can't stop counting my blessings, of course, but yes, open communication. I mean, I am still guilty of that. Sometimes I feel I'm carrying the weight. I'm cleaning the house. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You buat lah ni. Kena cakap ke? I can't help it. But we're learning. We're still learning. I mean, there's no end to learning. Honestly, it's our coming to our 7th year of marriage. And we're still learning. We're still learning how to communicate. He's still learning how to accept that this is hard. This is her love language. It's that love language thing. And first year was hard, to say the least.
Yeah, especially because you had your child also so early in
so early, yes. So I had my child. I think we conceived him like a day after we got married. A blessing.
So you've been married for as long as you've had children. Yeah.
Yes, I have. So he's really been the boy that has helped me through the best, the lowest, the tough times, and that's the thing about the firstborn, That's where you learn how to be a mother.
Yeah, and I think the thing about my husband and I is that we had some time alone before we had our children come in.
Yes, I remember those days. Those early days of Iman Azman. I was a quiet fan. I wouldn't say stalker, not a stalker. I was a quiet fan.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah. So we sort of worked out our communication kinks in like the 4 years before we had our son. So that was very, very helpful. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, like even till today, like 4 kids on, 10 years in, there are some days where I feel frustrated, like how come I'm the default parent? But then I take a step back, I'm like, Shaitan, diam, sekejap. What is he doing?
Yes.
He is literally carrying the weight of everything else.
Yes.
Literally all I have to do, not all I have to do because I do quite a bit, but he does so much as well. I think also recognizing how much your partner does for your family will, whatever shaitan you have, like can go away. Because when you think about it, like, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, right? Like it's very different for moms who also work or choose to work or have to work, especially. Like because I get to be a stay-at-home mom, all I have to worry about is waking them up, getting them to school in the morning, clean the house during the day, hang out with my baby, pick them up from school, feed them dinner, do bedtime, and that's literally it. Like, like that is a blessing that not many women get. So when I want to get mad that my husband is like taking a few like extra minutes of sleep, how can I be upset? Like that's not fair.
I think that's a note to myself. I feel like I'm always the one that's sleepy because I was lacking in sleep hours, right? But I felt like he sleeps through the night, he's not feeding. Why is he still sleepy? Come on, bangun lah. And if he's watching this, he'll be like, "Tula you," you know?
Yeah.
But I think it's a note for myself too.
Yeah, I mean, all these things are growth, right? Like you won't learn stuff like this unless you go through them.
Of course.
It's only time through like second, third, fourth baby will you be like, oh, actually, like my husband does a lot.
Betul.
But again, not all husbands. Okay, not all husbands. I don't want to put like a blanket thing. I know there are some guys who can carry a bit more, who can be a bit kinder to your wives. So maybe this message to you, yeah, Abang. I know you can do more. I believe in you.
To each his own, honestly. We got to learn about our partner, what their capacity is, where they need time out. And that's just the key. Communicate, understanding, accepting. And in the age of social media, don't compare. Just don't, you know. I mean, we all have different capacities. We all have different abilities. Our own family comes first.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that concludes our topic on our first year of parenting.
First year, it's really fun. If your first year is coming up, be ready for lots of fun.
And if your first year wasn't that good with your first, second, third, there's always the first year of parenting with the second one, third one, inshallah. I'm Isha.
I'm Iman.
This Mums Unscripted podcast is brought to you by motherhood.com.my. To listen to more of our Mums Unscripted podcast, download the Motherhood Super app today.